Hey everybody, and welcome to a new video on E.Stampley art. In today's video, we're just really going to be doing some coloring. I got these Ohuhu markers a while ago, and I figured I would take this opportunity to actually try them out. I haven't tried them out at all. I've heard they're a wonderful alternative alcohol marker to, say, Copics. So I wanted to get a really nice variety pack, and I also got this set of skin colors. So I'm actually going to be using these Ohuhu markers to color in this portrait that I did. I did this a while ago. I actually sketched it out in my sketchbook, but liked it so much I wanted to do a little bit bigger version. So I'll definitely be using my skin tone Ohuhus that I've got here and some of the multicolors as well. So as well as a coloring video, this will also be probably a review of these markers, since I've never used them before, and I'm excited to try them out for the first time. I will probably test them out first, blending techniques and everything on a scrap piece of paper, and then kind of swatch out some colors that I might want to use, and then we'll go on to the final piece. But with all that being said, why don't we get started, shall we? So I wanted to start off by saying that this video is not sponsored in any way, so any opinions that I give in this video are my own. Just wanted to let you know that up front. So both of these sets come in a wonderful little canvas-like bag to contain your markers that has a little handle on it and a zipper to close it up. This one's obviously a little bigger, more markers, but yeah, that's really cool. So you have something that you can travel with if you want to. They also each come with a color swatch sheet. So this one has this for the 24 set, and this is for this 72 set that you can put your color swatches on, so you can look at it. So that's really awesome. I'll do that later. I won't do that in this video, but yeah, I'll definitely do that later. That'll be great reference for later on. They also both come with like a little booklet showing you kind of giving you a little information about Ohuhu and the Ohuhu markers, and then obviously your full color spectrum there, and then showing you the different colors that you're getting in whatever set that you're getting, as well as blending techniques. So this one showing skin tones, since this is more of a skin tone set, showing you how to blend there. Has a little bit of an FAQ as well. This one is about the same, as you can see, still spectrum, and just showing you the 72 colors that you get in this set and some blending techniques here. Also, both sets come with this sheet to put in between your paper. So like if you're doing it in a sketchbook, then just put this in between the two pages, and then that way the colors won't bleed on to the next sheet. I've mentioned that several times in my videos. For any markers, whether it's alcohol or water-based, any kind of thing like that that you feel is going to maybe bleed through the paper, always have something in between your sheets. That way you don't lose two sheets of paper accidentally while coloring on the one. So I'm going to take these and put them to the side for right now. I will save one of these because I am going to use a sketchbook. I'm really just going to test out colors that I think I might use on my final piece, not all of them. So, but I want to test them out a little bit first to see what will blend well. The other cool thing that I think is with each of the sets, they all come with a 0, or aka the colorless blender. So I'm definitely going to try that out and see how that works. Just so you know, each of these markers has a broad chisel nib, and then I got the ones that have the brush tip. As you can see, I believe there are ones that you can buy that have the chisel nib and the bullet nib instead. The brush nibs are a little more recent. I mean, they've come out in the past like few years or something, but I think the initial Ohuhu markers didn't have the brush tip, and then they finally came out with it due to probably high demand from many artists wanting a brush nib. First impression of just going on the page, it's really, really smooth. So that's pretty awesome. I like that. I kind of like that color. I'm gonna leave that out. They also have, if you look on the end, as you do. Just like Copic markers, they have some kind of numbering system. So this one is BR2, potato brown. I'm assuming that means brown 2. And like this one is Y12. Let's see, and then we've got R29. So, you know, very similar to, I'd say the Copic numbering system as far as colors, kind of ranging them into different families. All right, so I've kind of done a little bit of testing here, went through all the colors, and I think I've narrowed it down to a few skin colors that I'm going to use, kind of swatch them out down here so I can know which one's which. Also tested out some of the blending, noted that they really have to be much closer in shade to kind of blend better than if they're a little far off. And then the colorless blender kind of washes away, I mean, it kind of does the same thing with the Copic, kind of washes away the color. This lightened up a lot when I used the colorless blender on it. These two colors here blended really well. I believe that is the Y145 and the YR148. They're a little closer in tone, so I think that's why they blended really well together. Here you can also see I used the plastic sheet that they provided in between the two sheets, because you can see how it bleeds to the back, and if I didn't have this here it might have bled onto the next page. So yeah, always a good thing to have a buffer page in between. Also a good idea to have something in between, say your coloring piece, so it doesn't bleed over from the back to whatever your surface is. So I have this So I'm just starting off with my lightest brown, which is the base of my skin tone for this particular portrait. And then I'll just kind of build up the colors with a little darker shades of brown as I go along. I actually do 2 layers of this lighter color just because it kind of intensifies the color as well as kind of blends the color a little bit more on the page so you don't have those streak marks. There are also times that I use the colorless blender to kind of push the color back in when it goes outside of the lines. You can also do this with other alcohol-based markers. That's one of the techniques that you can use with the colorless blender as opposed to just using it to help blend some of your colors together. So I wanted to have kind of like shiny yellow gold earrings, so I colored those in using 2 different shades of yellow, a lighter yellow and kind of more of a mustard color. I also liked her having kind of like a 2-tone hazel eye, so I did like a green at the top and a brown underneath and kind of blended them with the green, and also did a little bit of a highlight, actually more of a shadow of a darker green around the iris. So I thought purple would be a really pretty hair color on her, especially with the skin tone that I gave her. So I did like a lighter purple tone obviously underneath, after I'd went through all my purples in my 72 pack set, found the colors that I thought would blend together and look really well together, and kind of swatched them out so I knew what I was working with as I was going along. Like I said, did the lighter color first, and then kind of went back in and started doing all the shadows along the hair that was closest to her head. I'm not really trying to blend these colors as much as creating, I'm not trying to blend these colors as so much as creating some texture in her hair. It doesn't blend necessarily as kind of soften the lines, which I like. And you can see as it goes, see how this is dark because I just finished it, but it's lighter here because it's finished drying. I'll probably go back over and I'm trying to kind of replicate what I did on her hair that's closest to her head in her buns. I think the thing you have to remember when you're working with markers, especially alcohol markers, is it's kind of like painting. You build up from the lightest to the darkest, because you can't really take away the dark color once you've gotten there, but you can always build up your color as you go along. So I think that's the one thing to kind of remember when you're working with alcohol-based markers. I think kind of the same for water-based markers too, although you can kind of dilute them a little bit with water even after you've put them down, because you know they're water-based. I'm also pushing the color with the marker in the direction that I want the texture to go. That adds texture to the piece as well, especially for hair. It's a really good tool. So here I'm even adding more shadow and more depth to her hair, which gives it just a little bit more, you know, pop to it when you add that dark shadow along the edge. Just gives it more depth. So I went in with my white gel pen, just added a little bit of highlights on her lips, her nose, and her eyes, and obviously on her hair. Just adds that little bit of shine. The only problem sometimes I've had with white gel pens is you have the moments when they want to flow really, really well, and then the moments that they just seem to act like they've run out of ink, even though they have not, because it's literally a new pen. But other than that, I really do like using the gel pens. I thought her background was, you know, too bare. I wasn't going to leave it white, but I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do. So I kind of made this up on the spot. I initially was going to do just that one circle, and I still didn't think that was quite enough. So I decided to add a couple more just in different tones of blue, since there really isn't any blue on the piece. So I figured that would make it, you know, kind of stand out more if I did that behind her. All right, so here is the final piece. It looks great. I like, my favorite part is probably her hair. I just like all the texture and stuff in it. It looks great. For those of you who want to know how it bleeds to the back, these aren't too bad. Granted, this is a little bit thicker of a Bristol board sheet, but you can see that it does bleed to the back a little bit. Which is always why you need a sheet of paper underneath when you're coloring. It turned out really well. The markers were really great. They blend pretty well. I think these, to me, I don't think blend as well as the Copic markers. I feel like you have to be really, really close together in your colors to be able to really, really blend them very well. The markers overall, they have, you know, I got the 72 and the, you know, the skin color 24 pack. So I've got a good variety of colors. I can't remember how many colors there are in total in the Ohuhu brush marker set. I'll look that up. It'll be on the screen somewhere. Also, a couple of downsides, obviously, with the Ohuhu markers are that you have to get them in like the packs. They don't come individual. So like if I run out of this particular color and I really like this color, I'm a little bit out of luck because I won't be able to get this particular pen unless I order another big pack of markers. So that's kind of a downside. And also these are non-refillable as opposed to, say, the Copic markers, which are refillable. So, you know, a couple of negatives there, but as far as price, they are much more affordable, and you can, you know, like I said, if you get a big pack of them, they are much more affordable than Copic markers, and you can kind of get the same effects. The colors are just as vibrant, and you can get, you know, a beautiful marker colored effect for any of the pieces that you want to do. So I do recommend them on that aspect. As far as this particular piece goes, like I said, I really enjoyed working on it. It was really fun. And for those of you who may want this piece for yourself, I'm going to add it as a print to my Etsy shop. And if you ever want to visit my Etsy shop, you can do so at E.StampleyArt.etsy.com, and it'll take you there. And you'll be able to buy a nice print of this. Granted, it'll be a small print. It'll be a 5x7 print. It'll be a little bit smaller than this 8.5 by 11. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a nice thumbs up down below. And if you want to know about new videos when they are coming out on the channel, feel free to hit the notification bell or the red subscribe button, which is somewhere down here. Of course, if you want to follow more of my artistic journeys, you can always do so on Instagram or Twitter at E.StampleyArt. As always, I'd love to thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye!